So what's everyone else doing? I don't want to do it. Oh, I wish I wasn't so committed to role-playing things. One day I've got to play this and just pick nice options that I'd say. Okay, guess we're killing 6 then. Hope you enjoyed them. Scientists, man. Do it. Sorry, guys. Already done. She did it anyway.
I don't exactly know what Oroi did.
6's head is gone.
But the effect on the robot was impressive.
6 has hair. You. Oh, it's an old lady with hair. You are in charge here. Just a sec. Give me my... Just a sec. Let's get rid of that. Okay, we've got a... Old is a bit unfair. She could be just older with hair. A robot with hair. I missed 6. Maybe 6 is still stored inside. My computers can have... Oroi, what's happening? A refraction. So you are in charge. This is the Withering Palace. You won't imprison me again. You can't. Which way? Outside. Ah. So I see it is still here. Still working. My followers worked for months to uncover the secrets of this device. If they could see me now. The glorious results. So this place is a prison? We'll just talk to the scary lady robot. You don't know where you are. That's interesting. Your robot was able to bring you here without even telling you what it knew. Perhaps you could tell me. Talk calmly to the scary robot lady. Why she got hair? It's weird. No. No, Alia Elastra of Elbereth. I really don't think I will. Damn. You have a ship? Don't you know? We're having some problems now. She seems a little threatening. Ah, I see that you do. Interesting. There are layers inside here, layers upon layers. Who are you? There was a bit of a leading question down there. You do not even know who I am. Has so much time passed since I ascended? Hundreds of years at least. She wasn't buried on Iox because this is a refraction from here. Or no, she was refracted from here. The Empire fell. Doesn't mean she was here. I know, I mean, did you know that? Of course I did. I felled it. You really pick your robots, Alia. I knew this one had some kind of superiority complex. She's saying this as if it's the same one, but we refracted something else. I didn't realize it ran this deep. They're not really getting it. But tell me of my world. I am not uncaring. Has the darkness swept across the nebula? Is all lost? You told Ember about the darkness. Rember came here. You were Rember's robot, and somehow you told him. His explorations near Mercy. He was obeying you? As will you. As you have done. I'm getting a bit confused now. So, we had a robot. The robot was buried, well, bricked up in a wall, I think, on Iox. That was 6. Here, it looks like our nicer version of events was happening, with her talking about ascending. It feels like the theory of putting consciousnesses into robot bodies in the sense to become immortal, and that it started or was only the Imperial family. That's why we find on the Graveyard Moon, we found the collar. You can just see it. You can see it on the robot now. It's kind of a horseshoe loop where the head comes out of. That's what we found on the grave marker where the child was speaking, and we suppositioned that it was a robot graveyard, and wondered whether I think we wondered for a while if the whole race was robots, or if somebody just turned into robots, and maybe the Imperial family were turned into robots. It was a big thing. Go listen to it, huh? This is a refraction from this Hopper eye. That just means it's a memory of someone who had been ascended here. It doesn't mean they were buried here. I'm confusing myself, you see. But she's saying that she was Rember's robot. Does that mean Rember came here and did the same thing we did? She appeared and then he started following, and that's why he left the trail, so we would follow her again. But how does she know what Rember did and have memories of doing things with Rember when we just got her out of the refraction of this Hopper eye? She should just be the same as she was when Rember found her, if that's what happened. It could well be a misunderstanding things. It's only just happened, so don't tell me. But yeah, I mean, I've got a bit of a headache, so maybe that's not helping. I think that Alia and Oroi are forgetting their history, which is really embarrassing for Oroi. And I want to look at the timeline. That's fair, Naraya. It's been quite convoluted. It's not very easy to summarize. Well, not for me anyway. I'm not very good at summarizing things. I also forget quite easily. All right. I want to be able to see the timeline. I wish I could go to the timeline from here without cutting short the conversation. Because we have a bit in the timeline and it said Empress was deified. So I'm thinking this might be the Empress. She's talking about having followers. She's talking about having ascended. And I suggested that maybe when the Imperial family ascended into robot immortal form, that's when she decided to make herself say, oh, I must be a god because I will never die. Yeah, I really like theorizing on it. Careful. I wonder if these are the same theories I came up with last time. Like I said, poor memory. I remember bits and pieces, but not what I made out of it exactly. I guess we'll find out more as we go. I just got a bit confused about her, how she can be Remba's robot and remember doing things with Remba when we just got her out of as a refraction of the eye. Unless they're trying to imply that she was in 6 all the time, but then what was the point of that whole refraction thing? So we'll see, I guess. But yeah, at the moment I'm just thinking, apart from that confusion with your Remba's robot and all that, she said she brought down the empire, but she was the empress. So maybe there was some kind of split, some kind of rebellion. Whether it was against no, she wanted to bring it down. Maybe it was against her. Maybe they didn't like her being empress forever or something like that. Maybe they didn't think it was fair that only the imperial family got to ascend, or many reasons. Now we're just rambling on. So let's talk to the scary lady and be like, can you be bold and 6-like again? Maybe we can get a new one. You were buried on Iox. See, that's it. 6 was buried on Iox. Oh no, do you remember what? That's what I paused for in the first place. She could be buried on Iox because this is just a refraction of who she was. That was kind of been temporarily stored in this eye. She herself then went robot-y like to be buried on Iox. But why? Alia knows that she was buried on Iox. She knows that 6 was. Maybe Alia's doing her a bit dumb thing, and she's not able to separate the physical robot body with the personality inside it. That seems more likely to me. Oh yes. As is the fate of all emperors. I was betrayed. Oh, I suggested that. I will not be betrayed again. Alia, if she leaves the beam of the Hopper source, she'll disappear? No. She'll stay like this. She has left the beam. There's a ship here. Follow me. Enkai does not wait, Alia. Can you turn her off? If she came and stood over here, maybe. But somehow I don't think she's going to. What does this mean for Oroi? She thinks they're... Come, or I will depart without you. You heard your empress, Alia. Nothing down there now. Okay. Why always this slow, Alia? Yeah. She's not a physical person. Yeah, everyone seems to be being a bit cool about it. Oh, I'm not actually in control. She's just like, oh yeah, what does this mean for Oroi? Oroi thinks they're just equipment. Now she's just like, oh yeah, it's the Empress. You do not want to be left behind. Be ready, Alia Elazra. Sometimes she speaks. And so we left the surface of the site of the Withering Palace. Alright, let's have a look, see. Yeah, 6 changed into someone else. 6 contains a record. The Empress was recorded hundreds of years before, but that recording had been buried inside 6's core. See, this is where I'm confused. It's implying that the Empress was inside 6 all along, but we did this refraction that said there would be resonances and all that, which implied that it would remember some of the last things that went through almost. And that would be placed into 6. So what if she was just in there, the refraction was just poking the 6's core to make her come out? That doesn't seem... Everything we've learned up till then was... It doesn't match that. That's not what it was for. It was taking people recordings of people. It keeps saying recordings, but I feel like there, it wasn't like a copy of a person. It felt like the person had been taken out of the body, and that's why it kept saying they didn't take the bodies. But because otherwise you'd have two of them walking around. You'd have the robot one and the person one. There's not recordings. It's that it recorded who they were, I guess. I'm a bit... Okay, careful. I'm going to ask a careful question. Don't give me more information than I'm asking for. The Hopper Eye at the Withering Palace. My understanding of what Ori said was that we were going to basically zap whatever was remembered, the after image, in that Hopper Eye, and basically put it in... Wait, no, hang on. Ori said that the beam comes out of the Hopper source, it goes through whatever is in the middle, in this case 6, takes it to the Hopper Eye, trying to stay in the camera zone, and refracts it back. No, it refracts it. No, I thought I had it. Because that would make sense if it was taking something out of 6. But then it's like, what, refracted it back in 6? How would that have worked originally? They didn't want it to refract back into the body. That is pointless. Was there like a split second? Because there's a hole, although it doesn't look big enough for a body. Is it just that they have different settings? I'm not quite sure the question I want to ask. It feels like that makes more sense, that the beam came along, took the Empress out of 6's body and reflected it back in. But that doesn't make sense for the original purpose. Okay, so just answer me with a yes, no. Am I missing something? Just trying to keep it so vague. I like to work things out myself. Anyway, while we do that, while we wait for a possible reply, we're going to zoom here. Okay, Empress. Ooh, okay, it's actually telling us a bit more than was in the dialogue, which I don't like. They've even given her a name, and I didn't know her name. You don't think I'm missing anything? So it may not be my fault, it might be an issue with the law. Like, oh, come on, please let me... Oh, I hate this thing. I just want to scroll. It's given me information that, yeah, we didn't know she was called Empress Enki or Enkai. We didn't ask that. That's what I was looking for. Deification of the first Empress. We've had that for a while. Setting a precedent for all her descendants and founding the Holy Empire 550 years ago. The Crown of Iox, we're not going to get any information from it like I did last time. Not that I remember what I found out last time because I gave it back to Miari. Interesting. The altar source was only discovered here, which is like 575 years ago. And that's when, yeah, that's when they started making the Imperial family into robots and then got deified. Although why, if they only became deified 550 years ago, the Holy Empire in this timeline started 950 years ago? Were they still called Holy Emperors in a kind of just, come on, let's just pretend? 6 was buried on Iox 950 years ago. That's what it says. 6 was buried on Iox and was only unburied more recently in the modern time. So if the Empress was inside 6, she couldn't have then been. If she was. The only thing would be if 6 had been unburied and then reburied. This is getting weird. Hydrate, yeah. If 6 was buried on Ix 950 years ago, how would 6 contain the recording of the Empress, who, as we can see, was deified 550 years ago? So she had become a robot between 575 and 550 years ago. But if 6 was already buried, then she can't have been inside 6. And I still really hate that they told us her name without actually telling us her name. Then we've got the Graveyard Moon, where the recordings of the Imperial family were stored. But we still don't exactly know why the girl said there was a place for her at the Withering Palace. Well, Oroi said her name first, and Oroi doesn't sound like a historian, so I guess we'll just put that down to some awkwardness. They expected us to ask something else. With a dialogue-heavy game, you're going to slip a little bit. So here it says the first Empress leads the fall of Iox 350 years ago. But if it was her empire anyway, why? What's this? Building on the hideout moon constructed. Let me see. The hologram I saw in the graveyard wanted to go to the Withering Palace. But if you go to the Withering Palace, you're turned into a robot. But she was already a robot recording, because it was a grave. This is getting really confusing. Oh shit, our time's gone. My bad. I got distracted. The Fallers established power. Right, she was betrayed. That's what she said. The Empress was betrayed. Everything was going all lovely. It was betrayed, so she was like, fuck these guys. And the Fallers established power. That must have been her. It doesn't say that she fell. But the Emperor. When did the Emperor disappear? The last Emperor. First Empress. Last Emperor. So were there 2 rulers at some point? The Betrayer and her? Okay. University. Founding of Iox. My birth. Oh, I don't care. 6. Hang on, I want to find where we unearthed 6. Last Emperor of Iox dies on the hideout moon. Last Emperor goes into hiding. So yeah, there was some kind of split in the Imperial family. They wanted to take her down. But he had to hide, and she established the Fallers. But where is the bit where she got buried? Because she can't be buried if 6 was already buried. Six awakes on Iox. So this was like within the last 4 years. But it definitely says 6 contains a recording of an Empress. Hang on. She wasn't recorded yet. I have to go, sorry. Like I said, I've got a tight schedule, but this is frustrating that we didn't really get to a good point to stop. But yeah, I have to stop. That's frustrating. I feel like either I'm missing something, I haven't found out something, or the game's being a bit wonky. Oroi is with me. She wants to go home. Understandable. She's got to go home and rethink all those poor robots she's ripped their innards out. No, come on. She's not letting me get out. This is your ship. Do you not clean it? Yeah, we don't care. Save just now.